Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of PHT TV. I am really excited as I believe we have a first for you today. Before today, I have never seen or heard any of these units in person. And before Cory's brief unboxing video a couple of days back, I don't believe there has ever been a video posted at all of these units that actually included the real product, the actual product in hand, at least not that I was able to find. So today we're gonna change that though. Welcome to what I believe to be the first ever full PerListen unboxing video. Before we get going, first off, I do want to say while we will only be unboxing and highlighting the S7t today, this will not be the only PerListen unboxing that we'll be covering. We'll be unboxing the S4S surrounds with the S7C center, as well as the D215 sub. While we will be covering others later, please hang in with me on this particular one as it will likely be the longest of the three videos and much of the information here will carry over to the rest of the systems. So bear with me as it will be a little bit of a longer segment. So in addition to the unboxings, Cory and I actually had a meeting with Dan and Eric of the PerListen team so that we could splice it in throughout these videos as well, because who better to speak on the topic than the creators themselves. So that said, if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button below and click the little bell icon next to it to enable notifications. Not only will this let you know as soon as new videos release, but it'll also be the first step to put you in the running for many of our giveaways and contests that we have here on PHT TV. Today we'll be unboxing and talking about the S7t tower speakers. Before I talk about them at all though, I just want to go ahead and get them out of the box. So hang tight, let's crack these guys open and we'll see what's inside. All right, so the first thing I see when I open this box is another box. This says on the label, the S7t accessories box. When we crack this open, we do see the covers for the drivers. So I'm actually just gonna hold this up for you here so you can see it a little bit better. We do have the covers for the drivers. We have the feet in here, as well as screws and tools to get it all together. On this side, we do have the spike feet if you wanted to use that option. For now, I'm gonna set all this off to the side and we will come back to it later. All right, so I'm gonna continue to roll this and we will get it all the way out of the box. Next, we're going to see that they have included a set of white gloves in order to use for the unpacking of the speaker, in order to not get fingerprints or scratch marks or anything on the speaker itself. Additionally, in this baggie, we have a congratulations on your purchase letter and a QR code where you can actually scan it with your phone and go to download all the tech specs and all the instruction manuals and everything right there on your device. Now, I won't need these gloves just yet because the remainder of this unit is still in a box. So I'm gonna first off set this off to the side. Foam off to the side. And then next you're gonna wanna determine which is your top and which is your bottom. So this is actually the top end of the speaker and this is the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it up bottom up so that we can install this base plate. Now, as you can see, I am maneuvering it around while leaving the foam on, and this is just so I don't cause any damage to the speaker while unboxing and assembling. So I am gonna take this piece of foam off though, and now we are gonna see our first glimpse of the speaker here. I'm just gonna give you a peek though. We need this peek in order to install the base plate. This box does contain the base plate. And we will need to go back to our accessories box to grab the hex wrench. The base plate is sandwiched in between two pieces of wood in order to protect it and travel. And what you will notice is that one side is flat, the other side is inset. So you're going to want the screws to go in on the side that is inset. And now that we have those on there, I'm going to go back to the accessories box. First thing you're going to want to do is screw on this rubber feet. And on this final one, I'm going to give you a close-up to let you know. So the back side does not have a rubber portion, whereas this side, one side does not have a rubber portion, one side does. So as we're putting these on the speakers, we're going to want to go upwards because the bottom foot already has rubber on it. So it's going to sit on the bottom just like that. At this point, if you were so inclined and wanted to use spike feet, you could remove these from the box and they screw in like so. In the accessories box, in addition to the wrench, you also have this little key here. This will slide through the spike feet and allow you to tighten that and really clamp it down on there. I'm not going to use the spike feet right now, so back into the box these guys go. We are going to flip it over. Now, I did mention before that these boxes do include a set of white gloves. Now, since we're getting to a point where I'm about to remove the covers here, I'm going to go ahead and put on these white gloves and we can remove these and see what's inside. All right, are you guys ready? Here we go. You guys got to see it before I did, so hold on just a moment. I want to step back and actually take a look at these guys. Okay, these are insane. First off, what sets these guys apart from the sea of options available on the market is it is built from the ground up to be a brand new beast unlike anything that you have ever seen or heard. I'm not going to dive too deeply into the specs because you can find all of that information on their website. The spec sheet has all the data you could possibly ask for. Instead, I'm going to give you my impressions and discuss kind of what I noticed when I see these and when I'm pulling them out of the box. First off, I want to note the build quality. You might have seen me struggle a little bit getting these guys out of the box, and the weight alone is the very first thing you'll notice when you pull them out of the box, because they're not light. And that weight comes from the materials used in the product. You guys have probably heard of MDF, which actually stands for medium density fiberboard. These guys actually use HDF or high density fiberboard, which is 40% more dense than MDF. So after reading about them, they also have extensive internal bracing to make sure that they are not going anywhere anytime soon. After the weight though, when you get it out of the box, you'll notice the attention to detail in every single component. It's just beautiful in every single way. The Dpc Array, or Directivity Pattern Control Array, is where things get super interesting. It's made up of three 28mm drive components all sitting on top of a waveguide lens. The upper and lower are mid-range units, which are TPCD or thin ply carbon diaphragm. Thin ply carbon is not one material with one set of properties. It's a technology that enables the engineering of an infinite number of materials with different properties that can be constructed into diaphragms in yet an infinite number of ways. Definitely check out the link in the description. This page on TPCD, as well as the entirety of the website, is a great read.
So there's a broad range of things that just open up when you have that kind of technology, and that allows, like, let's say we had a solid metal cone or a solid material cone. You might have heard maybe terms of breakup, or what happens when a cone starts to not move uniformly as a piston. So at low frequencies, cone goes up and down, all areas of the diaphragm move in unison. There's always a part, no matter what the material is, where it'll actually start to break up, meaning the cone is no longer moving as a piston. It, as the one part goes up, another part goes down, and they start to cancel. You get deep notches in the frequency response and peaks in the amplitude. That will always happen. So as an engineer, you're always trying to say, what's the bandwidth of this driver? What can I actually do with it? And where do I have to roll it off? The great thing about the carbon fiber is that the material properties are not uniform. Because we can do multiple layers, now all of that strength, Young's modulus and all those kind of things we talk about, and when we talk about the strength of material, all vary in different directions. And actually, you never have a uniform breakup mode. So there's breakup modes, but they're much smaller in amplitude and they're more dispersed in each frequency. So you don't have this one dip notch where, okay, there's a huge breakup mode. This is where the cone first bending mode is. All of those kind of disappear. They're still there, but they're very micro in size and they're dispersed. It doesn't happen all at one frequency or two frequencies.
Between the mid-range drivers in the center of the array is the tweeter, which is made up of beryllium. Beryllium is significantly less common in speakers than aluminum or titanium due to its rarity and more expensive nature, but it does tend to produce significantly better results than both. A tweeter moves insanely fast. It moves crazy fast, and in order to do that, it needs to remain super light. But to avoid breakup and ringing from the cone, it also needs to maintain a very even distribution across the whole of the diaphragm. With the amount of output that these guys are achieving, only the best materials can be used to keep that integrity. The speed of sound through beryllium is nearly 2.5 times faster than the speed of sound through aluminum or titanium. Beryllium offers an incredibly high stiffness to mass ratio, so it's able to maintain the incredibly fast movement while also keeping consistent shape and movement across the surface. What this means is that when breakup does occur, it is at a much higher frequency than other materials, and it's typically well outside of the audible range. Now, finally we get to the woofers. The woofers are made of thin ply carbon, just like the mid-range drivers. Be sure to check out the site in the description to learn a little bit more about this material. All of that said, I can tell you about what things are made of all day, but what does that really mean for you? This will take us a little bit more into the THX rating systems. To quote THX's website, "With home theater, sound is everything. Crisp, clean audio drives the emotional depth, texture, and immediacy envisioned by the artist. THX certified loudspeakers pass hundreds of lab tests to guarantee precisely this level of performance every time. The key tests determine axial frequency response, which confirms that the speaker is balanced and flat. Output versus distortion, which ensures that the speaker can reach the required volume level without creating audible distortion or artifacts. And finally, vertical and horizontal dispersion, which tests the off-axis response to make sure that every seat gets an amazing listening experience." Stick with me here, guys. I promise we'll get to the point here shortly. Once put through all these rigorous tests, there are 4 categories that speakers are placed in based on their ability to perform in their claimed environment: compact, select, ultra, and dominus. Finally to the point, which is this: through all of the rigorous testing with all of the speakers on the market today, PerListen is the first ever to achieve the THX dominus rating. That puts them in a category of their own. These materials used, this beautiful finish, it goes way deeper than some marketing ploy. It's backed by real tech, it's backed by real materials, by THX and their certification and their ranking. These speakers literally take your listening experience to that next level, that dominus level. That's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. As I mentioned before, we'll be unboxing the PerListen S4S surrounds with the S7t center channel next week, as well as the D215S sub after that. So smash that subscribe button below to stay up to date on those releases, and we'll see you again next week for another episode of PHT TV.